Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Today, inshallah, we will be doing the 20th juz of the Holy Quran. And the 20th juz comes to the end part of Surah Naml. And yesterday we did Surah Naml, where it got its name from, the Surah of the Ant. When Sulaiman alayhi salatu was salam came with his army, and one of the ants, she told all the people, or all the ants, please move into your homes. Sulaiman ﷺ and his army are coming, lest you will be trampled and you will be destroyed. Stay in your homes and you will be safe and you will be secure. That's what the ant mentioned. And then we mentioned as well, we are in lockdown still at the moment, COVID-19. They are mentioning stay at home. Best place to be is stay at home. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala protect us all, inshallah. Then we did the story of Sulaiman alayhi salatu wasalam and Bilqis. And here we're doing the end part of Surah Naml. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentions, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala speaks about the purifying of intentions. إِنَّمَا الْأَعْمَالُ بِالنِّيَّةِ, as the Prophet ﷺ has mentioned, that even if sometimes your intentions are sincere, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will still test you. But when we do something, we must always do things with sincerity. As we mentioned a few days ago in the Tafseer, that the shaheed, you will be brought on the day of Qiyamah, that why did you go in the path of Allah? And he will say that I went in the path of Allah for your sake, of Allah. Allah Ta'ala says, you are lying, you are not speaking the truth. And he will be thrown headlong first into Jahannam. Same thing a person who has given knowledge to. Same thing a person who has been given wealth. Why did you give in the path of Allah? Did you give for Allah Ta'ala's sake, or did you give that people must call you a generous person? People must call you a person who has got a big heart or a good heart. Then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala also gives the example again of Lut alayhi salatu wasalam and the people of Lut. And again I must mention, and we mention all the time, we must not be people who, when something is haram in Islam, do not sugarcoat it. If adultery is haram in Islam and everybody is committing adultery, do not sugarcoat it. Do not say that, you know what, Islam says this, but this. No. If homosexuality is haram, if sodomy is haram, and somebody comes to you and asks you about homosexuality, do not be shy to say that Islam says homosexuality is prohibited. It is haram. It is a capital punishment. That's what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says. Also Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in the first 5 verses of the 20th juz, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gives a rhetorical question to everybody, to humanity, laying down iman, laying down the existence of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. For example, in ayat number 60, it is the first ayat of the juz, but the 60th ayat of Surah Naml, where Allah Ta'ala says, well, who is it who has created the heavens and the earth and sent down the waters from the heaven in the form of rain? Then we cause to grow therein gardens of flourishing beauty. It was not you to grow thereof. It was from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Now, is there any other sovereign other than Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? Nay. Allah Ta'ala says no. But they are a people who turned away from Allah. The next ayat, number 61, Allah Ta'ala says again, well, who has made the earth suitable for settling? Who has made this earth suitable for settling? It was Allah, made in its midst rivers and places loaded on it to cause the earth to settle. وَالْجِبَالَ أَوْتَادًا, Allah Ta'ala says in Surah Al-Nun, and we make the mountains as pegs. The roots of the mountains, it goes into the ground, so it keeps the continents firm. And Allah Ta'ala says, and we put between the two seas a partition, that whatever is in the one sea will not go into the other sea. Who did this? Allah Ta'ala says, is there any other sovereign other than God? Can't you people see this, see these things? And yet you do not believe in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? Allah Ta'ala says, nay, but most of them do not possess understanding. What does Allah Ta'ala says? بَلْ أَكْثَرُهُمْ لَا يَعْلَمُونَ. They do not understand. The third ayat, Allah Ta'ala says, ayat number 62. Well, who approaches to the cry of the helpless people? When people are in distress, who is it that listens to them when they call upon Him and removes their hardships from them and makes you successes upon this earth? Maybe Allah Ta'ala will not answer your dua immediately. Maybe Allah Ta'ala will answer it a little later. Maybe Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala will not answer that dua, but will give you something in place of that, maybe something better. Maybe Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala will not answer your du'as in this dunya, He will answer your du'as in the year after. And Allah Subhanahu, Rasulullah Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam said that we will wish out of the three. Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala has answered no du'as in this dunya and has kept everything for the year after. We mentioned it as well in one of the tafseers. When the Nile was dry, and the people came to Firaun and they said, you are saying that you are God, please make the river Nile flow. In the dead of the night, he goes and he stands in the Nile when it was absolutely dry, and he says, I call upon the Lord of Musa alayhi salatu wasalam, knowing that I cannot do anything, knowing that I cannot make this Nile flow. And then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala made the Nile flow. He was in distress, and the next day what does he do? قَالَ أَنَا رَبُّكُمُ الْأَعْلَى. He says that verily I am the Lord, the greatest. Allah Ta'ala says further, the fourth ayah, well, who guides you in the dark shadows of the jungles and in the seas? Now we have got GPS. But before GPS, we used to use a compass. Who guides the compass? We used to use the stars. We use a sextant. All these things we used to use. So Allah Ta'ala says, who guides you in the dark shadows, in the jungles and in the sea? And who is that who has let loose the winds, bringing good tidings? Before the rains come, always wind comes along. The wind brings good and glad tidings. Those of us who are sailors will understand how important the wind is if you're sailing a yacht, a sailing ship. If you are in the doldrums is usually on the equator, where there's absolutely no wind. You can't go forward, you can't go back, you are just adrift. Then if the wind comes along, catches your sails and off you go. You are no more in the doldrums. Allah Ta'ala says, who is the one who has sent the winds? But Allah Ta'ala says, Allah is verily far above that wind which you associate with Him. That's what Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala says. Then Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala says one more thing. Well, who originated the creation then will repeat it And who gives you provisions from the heaven and the earth? Who gives provision? You think it's the job that's giving you provision? You think it's your boss? You think it's your intelligence? No. It is Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that gives provisions. It is Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala who can take provisions away. Ayat number 65, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala speaks about ilmul ghayb and alimul ghayb. Thou say, O Muhammad, قل لا يعلم من في السماوات والأرض. Say, O Muhammad, no one in the heavens and no one in the earth has knowledge of the hidden things except Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Only Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is alimul ghayb. Everything in the heavens and everything in the earth, to know everything, that belongs to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Yes, some prophets are given some knowledge of the unseen. Like the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, the alamatul sa'ah. Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam was given the small signs of the day of Qiyamah, the big signs of the day of Qiyamah. Certain things the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam was given knowledge of. When they wanted to throw a rock on the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, Jibreel alayhi salatu wasallam came along and informed that there were many things, and many a time when Jibreel alayhi salatu wasallam came, for the Prophet, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala informed the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wasallam. Of course, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala informs some of His creation. That is ilm anil ghayb or akhbar anil ghayb, given knowledge of the unseen. But alimul ghayb, the knower of all the unseen, that strictly lies with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. That is one of the qualities of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Further on in Surah Naml, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala speaks again about the day of judgment. The day of judgment, where Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says the trumpet will be blown. And we did do that. How the trumpet will be blown and everything will crumble. And here Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala speaks again how the mountains will move. You will see the mountains moving like clouds on the earth. These mountains on its tectonic plates, when these earthquakes come along. In the time of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, to understand all this was very, very, very difficult. Very difficult. If the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam said that people will be coming to the masjid on the saddles of camels, but without the camels. Today, if you look outside, because there's no cars outside, because we are in lockdown, but normally, when you come for Fajr, Dhuhr, Asr, Maghrib, and Isha, the people are on the saddles of camels, in the seats, but they are not in camels, or they're not on camels, they're in their cars. We mentioned the one where the Prophet ﷺ said that people will be getting messages from their thighs. Where do you keep your cell phone? How easy it is for you and I to understand today. The Prophet ﷺ said, let's do this one again. A mother will give birth to her master. A mother will give birth to her master. We thought when we were studying that it showed disrespect. Not showing disrespect. That is one aspect of it. Giving birth to a master, you and I experience. We are working for what? We are working for our children. To give them the best education, to give them the best medical, to give them the best clothing. So we are the slaves working for our children. The mother has given birth to her child. So that is the master. The other one we said, if a lady does not want to get stretch marks on her body, do not want to go through the trials and the tribulations of childbearing or giving birth, she goes with her husband, they find a surrogate mother, pay the woman some money, They fertilize the egg with the husband's sperm, and what do? They place it into that woman. She is just a surrogate, just a carrier. When she gives birth, the child is not hers. She was maybe a poor woman looking for money. So who did she give birth to? She gave birth to her master. That is what the Prophet ﷺ said. So the Surah Naml ended off with the signs of the day of Qiyamah, where Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala speaks about the Dabatul Ard as well, the creature that will come from the earth. And Allah ta'ala says, therefore Allah ta'ala ends the surah, those who do good deeds will be rewarded, and those who do evil, they will definitely be punished by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Surah Qasas, the next surah, the 28th surah of the Holy Quran, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala revealed this surah in a time when the Muslims were in anguish. It was in a time of weakness when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala revealed the surah upon the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Where Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, Tafseer, again, only Allah Ta'ala knows the translation of those words. These are the verses of a very manifest book. These are the verses of a manifest book, Allah Ta'ala says. We recite unto thee some tidings of Moses and Pharaoh, truly for a people who have faith. That is what Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala says. Truly for a people who have faith. Why in a time of anguish? The Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he gave the message of Tawheed, of the oneness of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Yet, the Muslims of Makkah were persecuted. Yet they were tortured. Yet they were belittled. The Quraysh, they gave the Muslims of Makkah a tough time. So the Muslims, when they came to the Prophet ﷺ and they asked, O Prophet of Allah, we believe in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, yet Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is testing us. Never said it in so much words or so many words, but Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala knew what was in the hearts of the Muslims. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says that if you look at Musa alayhi salatu wassalam, you look at all the prophets of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Nuh alayhi salatu wassalam, 950 years he taught the Tawheed. Yet only 85 people accepted Islam. But he did not give up. Musa alayhi salatu wassalam, he came and he told Pharaoh, and yet Pharaoh did not believe him. Brought all the signs down. Yet the trouble and the tribulations he got. Not only the Musa alayhi salatu wasalam. In the beginning, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, Musa alayhi salatu wasalam's mother. Musa alayhi salatu wasalam, when the order was given by Fir'aun that all male children should be killed. Musa alayhi salatu wasalam's mother, she was very, very worried. She took her child, made a basket, put the child in the basket and let it down the Nile. Now I'm going to ask, which mother in today's time will do that? Let your child alone. There are crocodiles, there are hippos, there are the basket could capsize. Which child would do that? So the anguish, the worry that was in that mother's heart, but yet she did it. And she put the child in the basket and let it down. She let it down. Then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala speaks about Fir'aun. How the tyranny of Fir'aun, when the children were children at that time, when Musa alayhi salatu wasalam spoke about Haman. So who was Haman? And Allah Ta'ala says, and to establish them in the land, and to show Fir'aun and Haman. To show Fir'aun and Haman. Who was Haman? Haman was a minister in the court of Fir'aun. And he was his partner in oppressing the people of the Bani Israel. So Fir'aun and Haman, they were exactly the same. They were partners in oppressing the people of the Bani Israel. And he was the first agent of Fir'aun to accept the tyrannical policies of Fir'aun. That was Haman. So further on, as the mother let the child go, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says that verily we will bring this child back to you. Inna ma'al usri yusra, verily after every difficulty there is ease. We will bring this child back to you. So the mother says to the sister of Musa alayhi salatu wasalam, you follow this basket. You follow this basket and see what happens. Make sure nothing happens to it. So thereafter the sister sees that this basket goes into the hands of the queen of Egypt, into the hands of the wife of Fir'aun. And this lady picks up this baby, and this baby is in the house of Fir'aun. She gets even more worried. Now you are in the land, in the house of the tyrant. What's going to happen? Allah Ta'ala says, don't worry, we will look after you. The difficulties are there, we will look after you. When it so happened, Fir'aun wanted to come and kill this baby. We mentioned it, that she said, this is just a little child. We haven't got any children. Let's bring this child up in our court, in our home. He will be something good for you. After that, Musa alayhi salatu wasalam grows up in the house of Fir'aun. But the mother is worried. So what does Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala do? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala made the breast milk of every mother witness haram upon Musa alayhi salatu wasalam. Not haram in the sense that it was haram, that he never drank from any witness. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says in the 10th ayah, and on the matter of the hearts of Moses' mother became an empty rest. She was very, very worried. And she said, would have well been disclosed her restlessness had we not set a knot on her heart, for that she might remain a believer. Really, Allah Ta'ala kept her firm. You are in the house of Fir'aun. This child is going to die. And thereafter she said to the sister, go and follow. And what happened was, Allah Ta'ala says in ayat number 12, and we had forbidden for Musa alayhi salatu wasalam the foster mothers aforetime. Then she said, the sister, when she came into the house of Fir'aun, shall I tell you of a household who will rear him for you, and they are the well-wishers. They are the well-wishers. And then what happened was, she went to her mother. She said, oh mommy, why don't you come as a witness to bring up the child in the house of Fir'aun? And the mother of Musa was reunited again in the house of Fir'aun. The difficulty is there, oh Muslims. The Quraysh will give you the difficulty. But what will happen? The ease will come. The difficulty came to Musa alayhi salatu wasalam even when he became big. When Allah Ta'ala says in ayat number 14, and when he reached his strength and stood straight, we gave him hikmah, we gave him wisdom, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says. But then he went into the city one day, and there he found two people fighting. It was a Kipti, the people of Fir'aun, one person of Fir'aun fighting against who? against the Bani Israel person. And Musa alayhi salatu wasalam, we could not stand, we could not bear when an injustice is done. And there was a great injustice done. A great injustice done. So Musa alayhi salatu wasalam came and he stopped the fight. But the injustice was so severe that Musa alayhi salatu wasalam had to hit the person. Because it was a great injustice being done. Otherwise this person would have killed the Bani Israel. So when Musa alayhi salatu wasalam hit the Qibti, he was a very powerful person. Musa alayhi salatu wasalam. With one shot, he wiped the Qibti out. Then obviously in the surah it carries on that he had to go further. My Lord, I have wronged myself, please forgive me. Then the people were saying that you better go because Fir'aun is after you. Then the story carries on further when Musa alayhi salatu wasalam went to Midian and he met the daughter of Shu'aib alayhi salatu wasalam, and he met the ladies. Obviously with parda, with absolute modesty. They were there, he trying to give water to the animals and he came to help them. And then Musa alayhi salatu wasalam went with them, obviously not looking at them. He used to walk in front, and whenever they said turn the right, they used to throw a stone on the right, turn left, throw a stone on the left. And when the daughters of Hazrat, the people of Midian alayhi salatu wasalam, Hazrat Shu'aib alayhi salatu wasalam came to find out this. And then he said, this is an extraordinary person, this is a good person. And then it spoke about getting married, Musa alayhi salatu wasalam getting married to one of the daughters of Hazrat Shu'aib alayhi salatu wasalam, and also speaks about the fire when he came back. And then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala speaks again about the signs, like cast down your staff and it turned into a snake. And then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, insert your hand in ayat number 32, and it came out shining. Allah ta'ala said also, then Musa alayhi salatu wasalam said, oh my Lord, please send my brother Harun with me, for my brother Harun is more elegant when we go and speak to Musa alayhi salatu wasalam. That we did 2 days ago. Then further Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala speaks about Haman. Also who Haman was. Who Haman was, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, not Haman, we did Haman. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala speaks about Qarun. Who Qarun? Qarun, he was of the people of Musa alayhi salatu wasalam. Today we will end with who Qarun was. Very, very simple. Qarun, he was the cousin of Hazrat Musa alayhi salatu wasalam, and he was in the courtiers. He was in the court of the Fir'aun. As it was the way of tyrants that they would order, before they could take the blood or suck the blood out of people, they would take certain people from amongst that people, like spies, to do the job for them. He chose the accursed Qarun from the Bani Israel. Qarun had collected a huge wealth by his own hands and availing to chance, and attained worldly power too. So when the Bani Israel, they came under the order of Hazrat Musa alayhi salatu wasalam, and Fir'aun, he drowned. His sources of economic progress and economic power, it came to an end. It started dwindling. So he started envying Hazrat Musa alayhi salatu wasalam and Hazrat Harun alayhi salatu wasalam. So outwardly, he was a mu'min, he was a believer, but inwardly, he really despised the religion. He really despised Musa alayhi salatu wasalam and Harun alayhi salatu wasalam. So in simple words, he was a munafiq, he was a hypocrite. He gained knowledge, he used to read the Torah, but his heart was not clear at all. So he said to himself that Hazrat Musa alayhi salatu wasalam and Hazrat Harun alayhi salatu wasalam, Allah Ta'ala has given them everything. Everything Allah Ta'ala has given them. But Allah has given, not Allah. He says, I am so wealthy. Why are people looking up at them and people are not looking up at me? So he said to himself, after all, I am their cousin. What is it that they become prophets and they become chiefs and I am left behind? No. Something has to be done. No matter if they become prophets, and I have got treasure as well. I have got wealth as well. I am going to become a leader again. So what happened was that one day Hazrat Musa ﷺ ordered that zakat should be paid. Zakat should be given in. So he said to the people, we have endured all the orders given to us by Musa ﷺ. You tolerate everything from Musa ﷺ. He is taking your wealth. Now he's asking even for more wealth. This is definitely not right. Musa ﷺ is wrong. And some men started supporting Qarun. No, we cannot tolerate this anymore because Musa ﷺ is taking too much from us. So what happened was, he got hold of a woman. He had a scheme made or hatched a plan. He got hold of a woman, it's mentioned here in the Tafseer. He tempted a woman to declare in full congregation where Musa ﷺ was described punishment for fornication. He says one day Musa ﷺ is going to teach the punishment for adultery. And in full view, you must stand up and you must say, oh Musa, you are talking about adultery, but وَنَعُوذُ بِاللَّهِ, you committed adultery with me. And Qarun was going to give this lady a whole lot of money. So that's what he said, the punishment of fornication, that Musa himself has molested her. Musa himself had committed fornication with her, وَنَعُوذُ بِاللَّهِ. The woman did as she was told and paid to do. When Hazrat Musa ﷺ came in front of her and told her, please speak the truth, for the wrath of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will be put upon you if you do not speak the truth. So the lady got scared, and in front of everybody she said, verily Musa ﷺ is innocent. Verily Musa ﷺ is pure. Qarun came to me, and Qarun put money in my hand, put wealth in my hand, to false accuse Musa ﷺ that he has seduced me or he has committed adultery with me. Then by Musa ﷺ's invocation, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala opened the earth, that the earth swallowed Qarun and all his wealth. They say his wealth was so much that he needed an army of people to carry the keys of his treasures. The keys of the rooms where his treasures were kept. He needed an army to carry those keys. Qarun and Haman. That's how much. And Allah Ta'ala opened the earth. And the earth swallowed Qarun. And earth swallowed all his treasures as well. Till the day of Qiyamah, it will be swallowed right until the day of Qiyamah. Then we came to Surah Al-Qabut. Surah Al-Qabut, the spider. Why Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala named the story of the spider is because the example of those who have taken leave of God, who have ascribed partners to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, has made shirk with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, is the likeness of the spider who has made his house, and the weakest of houses is that of the spider. You think you take other things as your Lord, other things as your God. You make money your God. You make Fir'aun your God. You make everything else your God. You make idols your God. But in reality, it is like the whole. You just come along with your hand and you wipe the cobwebs out with your hand. Very, very, very weak. That's why it is known as Surah Al-Qabut. Inshallah, tomorrow we will carry on with the 25th juz of the Holy Quran. It's a very blessed time. before we break our fast, let's make dua inshallah. اللهم صل على سيدنا محمد وعلى ال سيدنا محمد واصحابه وبارك وسلم. اللهم ربنا اتنا في الدنيا حسنه وفي الاخره حسنه وقنا عذاب النار. اللهم ربنا ظلمنا انفسنا وان لم تغفر لنا وترحمنا لنكونن من الخاسرين. ان الله وملائكته يصلون على النبي يا ايها الذين امنوا صلوا عليه وسلموا تسليما. اللهم صل على سيدنا محمد وعلى ال سيدنا محمد واصحابه وبارك وسلم. سبحان ربك رب العزه عما يصفون وسلام على المرسلين والحمد لله رب العالمين. Brothers and sisters, we have got approximately 6 minutes here in Faroli, Botswana before we break our fast. Please let's go spend it in dua for breaking the fast. Allahumma laka sumtu wa ala rizqika aftartu. Jazakallah.